How's it going, Super 73ers? Mike here, and we are out here in one of my favorite field areas for messing around and just practicing. There are a lot of nice rocks to zigzag around here, so it's pretty cool. But today, what we are going to be looking at is understanding the shocks. So the shocks on the back as well as the front, they are very important, especially on the RX. The RX has very, very high quality shocks, and it's unlike what you would get on most e-bikes nowadays. Most e-bikes don't even have a rear shock. So this alone is something that you should definitely not take for granted. And by take for granted, I mean just leaving it be and not even touching it. The official Super 73 UK page put out a video explaining how to mess with this, but they don't tell you why. So I'm gonna make a quick video for you guys explaining how I adjusted mine for my riding style and how you can adjust yours to make it more comfortable for you. The first thing that we have here is the preload, okay? Now the preload is, you can pretty much just think about it as the hardness of the spring, okay? So if you want the springs to be really hard, this is what it comes on right there. You can turn it so that the spring on the front, it's not really a spring, it's hydraulics, but you can make it so that it's much more tight, okay? Now I don't like it that tight. I'm gonna turn it so that it's almost completely soft. So you see, that's the maximum softness. I usually keep mine about straight down, okay? But it makes it so that the fork will compress softer. The rebound, hold on. So the rebound is how fast it will come back. So when you take that initial hit, there's the stiffness of it, but then there's also the responsiveness of the wheel going back into its place. So let's say, for example, this is your wheel, you take a hit. You can set how hard the hit has to be to move the wheel, which is why we set the hardness, but how fast it rebounds back, this is that. Now we're gonna move to the rear spring. So understanding the rear spring is pretty different than the front. So right now, this thing here, this is the piggyback reservoir. This is a hydraulic press, meaning that it has liquid in it. So instead of storing all the liquid in the cylinder, it has an escape place to go to, just in case you want to have it so that it can spring even more. Down here, we have one little adjuster. This is for rebound. So the red piece is exactly the same as the red piece over here. And this black piece up here is the hardness and the softness, okay? So think about this and this being the same, and this and that guy being the same, okay? I think there's, in the video they said that there's a total of 20 clicks. Another option that you have is turning the actual spring. So you see, I can rotate the spring, and that gives it more or less room to compress. If you turn it to the right, you'll see that the spring will move down, and what that will do is it'll make the spring tighter, making it physically less soft, okay? That's physically. But if we were to actually make this softer, that's the internal hydraulics being softer. So it's the same as the internal hydraulics in the front. We can make that softer, but we can also physically alter the spring. So you have a lot of customizability here. My particular ride throughout the day, going to work, my commute, does involve a lot of bumps, a lot of really quick bumps, things that go from smooth to a bump and then back to smooth again. So that means that I want it to be soft, and I also want it to rebound relatively quick. Not too quick, because I'm not off-road. If you're off-road, you want faster rebound so that you're back down on the ground again. But if you have it too soft, it can make things a little squirrely at high speeds. So be careful with that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do a little bit of riding around, and we will see if I need to do any adjustments. what I did was I rode from that field that I was just in, and I rode to another field, a much longer field. You can see right now, this is a really long stretch, okay? So it gives me a lot of time to pick up some good speed, unlike the other field. Speed really plays a part when you're looking at how you want to set up your shocks and stuff like that. But one thing that I really learned on my way back up here is that the rebound, if you have the rebound too low, eventually what you get is a springy effect and you start bouncing all over the place. On the roads that I happen to ride on, there's a lot of bumps and inconsistencies and hills and whatnot. So if I have my rebound too low, I just start bouncing all over the place, and that's not fun. So I have my rebound on about 50% right now, and my softness is almost max, so I'd say about 85%. I'm still going to keep messing around with it. I'm going to ride back and forth up here, and we'll see how things look, okay? Alright guys, so we are back home. We are here in the backyard. I just finished giving my RX a wipe down using this rag that I have. Good wet rag wipe down every now and then is always a good thing to do. But let's conclude what we've learned today through our testing of the shocks. What I've learned for my ride style, which is a ride style that involves a lot of bumps, I want my spring to be very soft, and I also want to have full rebound. That's right, I said full rebound. I had it turned down and I kept going back and forth to see which one I liked the most, and right now I have it at full rebound, full softness. I messed around and I was going here and there, back and forth, and the difference is very, very slight with what I was doing, but this is where I decided to leave it at for now. Later on I might switch around again, but once again, the softness gives you that room to go back and forth, so it allows the spring to compress, and with the rebound it makes sure that the wheel goes back down to where it should be as quick as possible. Same thing applies up here at the front. Now it is not on 100% softness. It is very close. This is 100% softness. Honestly, the difference between here and here is probably negligible, so you know, full softness. And then rebound is not quite full, it is mostly full. So if I turned it all the way to full, it would be right there. So just about one turn back from full is what I felt the most comfortable with after about 20-25 minutes of going back and forth on that field. As you can see, we're now at 281 and my battery is pretty much low. In the next video, we're going to be talking about brakes. Okay, I'm going to show you how I am going to clean my brakes. My brake pads right now are very squeaky in the back, slightly squeaky in the front. They came like that, and I did a bunch of research on the hydraulic brakes, so there's a good amount of things to go over there. I'll get some in-depth I'll get some in-depth footage and I'll talk about it, so that way you guys know exactly how to take care of your brakes, which are very important. But for now, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.